After trying to talk my wife into purchasing a guitar, which a lot of you know doesn't go well, she basically said, why don't you try to build one on your own? And I did do that in high school, and I've had a lot of woodworking experience, so I thought through the process, and I looked at a few YouTube videos and went, yeah, you know, I could do that. So built my first guitar for myself personally. A buddy of mine, thank you Dale, kind of got wind of what I was doing, and I showed him some stuff and asked me if I could do a left-handed bass, because the left-handed guitar players are hard to find guitars. So that is kind of where things started kind of moving a little bit. So I built an acoustic electric, so then I went, well, hey, I want to build an electric guitar. So that's when I kind of like really started to refine the shape and the design of the guitar, and I started really kind of digging into like, what is a quality guitar? What would somebody walk into a music store, pick a guitar off the hook and go, wow, this is a really nice guitar? You don't reinvent the guitar. I think that's the bottom line. Is it's kind of just a classic shape and design. It's a little bit of an offset, which I kind of personally like. It has a little bit of motion to it when you look at it. I guess in the sense So it just kind of went from building one guitar, and then I found somebody who was interested in that and they wanted to buy it. So with the money I made there, I could build 3 guitars, and then 3 turned into 6, and 6 turned into kind of where we're at today. So the word just kind of started catching on, and a lot of word of mouth, some Facebook advertising, but I think just a lot of people kind of discovering the guitars and falling in love with them for whatever reason. The actual Traverse City Guitar Company came along much later, after I'd been building for a few years. So that opportunity presented itself, and was an awesome fit with what we were doing as far as building not only the guitars but also the ukuleles that came along a little later on. We're starting off with just rough sawn dimensional lumber. The mahogany, the African mahogany, and the sapele mahogany I get from a local supplier. It's 10, 12, 14-foot blanks, 6/4, 8/4 thicknesses on those. So we're basically kind of bringing them down to dimensional lumber of what we want to use to work with, whether it's a body blank or a neck blank. Same thing with fretboards, dimensional lumber that we're using there. It's nice to use a lot of local wood. We have a lot of suppliers and actually guys that are out walking through the woods and pointing at trees and cutting them down and milling them up, drying them out in the kiln. So there's a lot of sources available locally to do that as well. So it's really fun to be able to kind of tie an instrument and the wood used in it to kind of the surrounding counties around the area. Sometimes there's even some deeper stories that we can get into with the woods, because we know exactly where they've come from. So just really kind of neat historical and kind of components to Traverse City and the surrounding counties here as far as the wood goes. Everything is blanked up through that process. All hand shaped here. We're not using any CNC. All the necks are carved by hand. We use spoke shaves and rasps and files and all those things to do those as well. This space just recently kind of presented itself and jumped at the opportunity, obviously, because it's about 3 times the space now. So now we're in roughly a 6-car garage as opposed to a 2-car garage, which previously was a third of a 2-car garage kind of thing. So where do we go from here? I have no idea. I guess I'm just listening and waiting and seeing what happens. So that'll kind of dictate things more than anything.